Hi, I'm Sam.
I'm Jamie.
We're going to be reviewing Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie.
So Nirvana the band is a 2007 web series made by two Canadian actors, filmmakers, musicians, Matt Johnson and Jay McCarroll. The whole premise of the web series is that their band, Nirvana the band, which does later get copyrighted, so they have to add the second N,
That is right.
is trying to get a gig at the Toronto local venue, the Rivoli. But the whole joke is instead of just asking them to be booked, they go through really weird circumnavigated means to do it, and comedy ensues when they end up not getting it.
Yes.
And so they then get picked up into a 2017 Vice series.
Yes. It ran for 2 seasons before getting dropped, unfortunately. And now this movie, which premiered at South by Southwest in 2025.
Yeah, and it's kind of, I think the original web series is kind of hallmark of like that early era of web series comedy that like really, like the good part of it where it's very based on just dry humor, a lot of handheld shakiness. They address the cameramen by their names. A lot of just like the sitting in the room with your friends, having a bit, seeing how they bounce off each other, the dry silences, the talking over, a lot of 90s, 2000s cultural references that...
I feel like that all really works to its advantage as like a more like homegrown web series. You can see like, you can really see the chemistry between the two co-creators and stars, Matt and Jay. You can really see that shine through, especially in the early episodes of the web series.
Yeah, I think I've like been doing web series as a part of like a class where you watch like 2000s internet shows. The stuff that aged the best is where it's clearly people who understand the internet and understand that the people and their authentic connection is what makes it work. And this show does that really well. And that really much translates to the movie's plot, where basically it is another scheme. It starts off like another scheme for them to get a show. They attempt to climb the CN Tower and drop into the Rogers Center.
They try to skydive into the Sky Dome, which is now called the Rogers Center. And their plan goes horribly wrong. They land on the roof because it closes due to bad weather.
So it kind of sets up the two plots, which is them trying to figure this out, but also Jay being sick of Matt's plans and having a split. But unfortunately, they travel back in time to 2008, which is when this show started.
Yep.
And that's really the movie.
And that's really the first act of the movie is just like setting up their character dynamics and really showcasing how Matt is more of the energetic, doesn't really think a lot kind of person, while Jay is much more methodical and smarter than Matt is.
Yeah, so it's really good stuff. I think before we get any more plot, our thoughts. I mean, this is kind of I think this is the most acclaimed movie of 2026 so far. Maybe before like the dust settles on Project Hail Mary.
Yes.
Like this is the highest rated movie on Letterboxd of the year, and I think it's pretty warranted. I did know it did take me 2 watches.
Yes.
As I talked to you before, when I saw this in theaters, I bounced off of this as someone who didn't see the web series. But then when I did see it, I saw it a second time, saw it with you, saw it up with other friends. Getting able to bounce off of it and know what was happening, and now being more familiar with the web series comedy, it really is rewarding.
It really does shine through. It's really a love letter to the web series. I originally saw it in a theater with no context whatsoever. I was awestruck really by just like, I had never heard of this. It was like, what is this? I went back, watched all the web series, and then watched it for a second time. And there's so many little references and gags from the web series that return in the movie that is really rewarding to longtime fans and even new ones who just binge through the entire web series in 2 days.
Yeah. I will give credit to the Alamo where I did see this, where they did show like kind of a little bit of a catch-up for it. They showed it was a really good bit where they showed people reviewing the Orbeez drink that they use as a plot device in the movie. They showed like bits of skits, so they showed part of the first episode, they showed the We Shop channel song. So like a lot of the iconic moments of the show, so people were understanding. They actually showed every single plan that has failed to get them to the Rivoli in like a snapshot, which was really cool. So it felt like it was a really good primer. I just was not in the right headspace for the comedy style.
Right.
But it's kind of like the whole point of the show is being in on a bit with your friends. And that's the whole point of the movie's like themes. And once I was like in on the bit by seeing the movie at the first time, I'm like, oh,
Like now you can fully.
It's like when your friends are doing a bit and you're not really friends with them. It could be impenetrable and really infuriating if you're not there. But once you're a part of it, it's kind of magic. And I think one thing we got to talk about are the shooting, like the guerrilla shooting style,
Yes.
and particularly the editing. So this is a time travel movie, and a way they do this is they actively just use shots from their old 2008 episodes, and they cross-cut it with like newly shot footage on their like original. I'm not sure if the actual same cameras. I think it is. At least in universe, it is.
In universe, it's the same cameras that they shot the original 2008 web series in. It's
fairly seamless.
It's very seamless. Like there's only one time when I can think of there being like a real noticeable cut or switch between the 2008 footage and the 2025 footage.
Yeah, there's some, but like
very, very quick.
It's very quick. Like there is a point where like you know that you're supposed to be seeing 2025 footage of 2008 through a 2008 lens, but then there'll be shots where they'll start in the 2008 thing. You'll get both characters, so it's clearly had to be filmed new, and you'll get like a zoom pan where it flashes enough to change the camera, and that is some pure editing crazy.
It is.
I noticed that on the second watch, and I'm like, whoa. So it's so cool, and I think the second thing we got to point out is some of just like guerrilla filming, the going up the CN Tower and jumping off of it. There's a lot of moments you won't expect in this movie. There's that. And then I guess we say the inciting incident of the third act.
Yes.
In the trailer.
That was very unexpected. But I have never, when I first saw it in the theaters, the first time I saw it, I've never heard a theater laugh that much.
Yeah.
That is like a quick gag joke like that.
There's been 2 movies recently where an accidental death has come into play in big comedies.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that. It's just like a boom tonal shift, and it's really well done. I also think the entire first 10 minutes of them being in 2008 is fantastic.
It's so well done.
All the we're in 2008, this is great, and shock comedy, and then you get right into the references humor, and then you get back to the present. You get that really good spell where Jay is famous.
Yeah. The Oscars bit.
Yes, the Oscars
Anthony Fantano bit.
Anthony Fantano. There's another one, him on Ellen.
Yes.
Was really good. A lot of great timed humor, and then a really good heartfelt ending, where I actually think the post-credit scene, we had a bit of a comment where it's like, it doesn't. I think the post-credit scene, at the ending of this movie, Jay goes back in time to stop them from breaking up. Matt wants him to break up by telling him that they wanted to break up, and then he fixes his own mistake. But then we see in a post-credit scene that was only released in the digital version that Nat was there, like seeing him erase them and
seeing
say,
him fix the timeline.
Yeah, fix the timeline. I think that's him. That's the reason he bridged the gap. If he didn't know that, he would have let him die and like get caught down in that final scene.
Right.
So he's like, I'll know he ultimately has my back in the end, so he goes through with it.
Right.
And there's a really, like, genuinely, this movie makes you believe in the power of friendship. This is a hope.
It really does.
It is. It's like, there's a really great scene. Like, there's 2 great scenes. It's the scene where him at the podcast, and he realizes that he's let his best friend, he doesn't have a best friend, he just goes dead air for a minute. And then where he's just in the corner, solemnly, when Jay talks about getting old. The past Jay talks about getting old and feeling like he doesn't age because he's with Matt, and he's like, damn, I really haven't. I mean, the fact that I put up with 17 years of this, maybe I'll put up with a few more.
You're right. It's
very beautiful.
Heartfelt.
This movie's also hilarious. We talked about a lot of great bits, and there's a lot more you haven't seen.
There's so many that we couldn't
The
include.
alphabet song.
The alphabet song.
The alphabet song. Matching tattoos.
Yeah. We Too Are Chinese.
We Too Are Chinese. Yes.
Yeah.
There's so much more.
So much.
I'm just going to go quick. I'm giving this a 9. Omer isn't, like, some things don't fully connect with me yet. Like, that it's like, I don't want to overpraise this and give this, like, I love this movie. The fact that it's in the top 100 on Letterboxd is a little bit crazy. But, like, also, a comedy being this great, it deserves it. It's a 9. Go see it. It's not going to win any awards, so please appreciate this for this cult movie that it will be. Yeah.
Yeah. I am going to give this movie a 10 out of 10. It has immediately gone on one of my Letterboxd top 4s. I can really see this being a movie that I can really rewatch and rewatch and rewatch. Especially, I haven't seen the Deviceland series yet, So once I see that and rewatch it again, I'm sure there's going to be even more bits that I didn't recognize the first 2 times I watched it.
I'm probably going to use the alphabet song if I ever make a best songs of 2026 video. That's like my transition music.
It better be.
So that's like, it's that, and then my worst list is going to be the Amazing Digital Circus Kane song. But that's all we have for this episode of Review Crew. Thanks for checking us out, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Good job, guys. And I could tell you could go for so much longer.
Oh my god.
Yep, we could.